Welcome everybody to another episode of the Abarcast. I am your host, Brian Abarca, and today we're going to speak about my solo trip to Vegas. We're going to speak about how to handle blacking out on the weekends and staying fit and seeing your trainer after. And finally, we're going to be speaking about how to handle munchies and still stay fit. You know, I decided to start traveling within the US just to step out of my comfort zone. Believe it or not, I've always been comfortable traveling outside of different countries outside of the US. But I figured, why not? It was my birthday. Let me just kind of start in an uncomfortable state so that, you know, I can kind of just get into the mentality of growth, you know. I wanted to be in that uncomfortable zone. So I decided, why fucking not? I went to Las Vegas. It was great. There was a lot of drinking, gambling, shopping. That's it, nothing else. And, you know, I also wanted to speak about how difficult it is as a business owner and an entrepreneur to, you know, try to get your friends, try to get family to travel with you. It is difficult just because not many people could just kind of like stand up and go out to travel within the U.S. or outside of the U.S. So that's why I kind of, you know, I really try to not depend on other people to travel. That's why I really just, if you can make it, great. If you can't, I'll just go alone. And, you know, this was like maybe like my 8th trip by myself, and it's amazing. You really get to, you know, learn a lot about yourself. And I encourage a lot of people who do not know too much about themselves to start traveling by themselves. Start, you know, going out to dinner by themselves. Start hanging out by yourself. You know, you do not need to depend on other people to have fun, to think about X, Y, and Z. You know, you just need yourself, and it's a great way to grow. You know, the topic today is going to be very interesting, very popular as well. I know you guys are going to like it. Today's topic: how to be responsibly fit while drinking and smoking. Yeah. First off, drinking. I'm a huge fan of drinking. You know, I like to have the occasional drink here and there, especially after a long day at work. But I'm here to educate and help you guys out. So I want to kind of speak about, let's say hypothetically, a girls' night out, especially since I train a lot of female clients. For girls' night out, guys, first off, what I usually tell my clients and what I suggest a lot of my followers and friends to do is to be that fun friend to start off with shots. Everybody loves that friend that's just kind of like, guys, we just sat down here. We didn't even just scratch our ass on the table yet. Let's order some shots. Everybody loves that friend, one. Two, if you start off with shots, okay, you're going to order less rounds of mixed drinks. I'm talking about sangria, margaritas, etc. You know, and number two, you'll get lit faster, which is the point of going out. Besides, you know, gossiping about little Jimmy, what little Jimmy did to you, what little Jimmy, you know, said about you, what you did to little Jimmy. Like, instead of talking about that, the point is to get lit with your girls, you know, rumbear, start talking to people, etc., right? And third, you'll save money. Think about it like this. Usually, typical Friday, you go out to eat, or Wednesday night. Wednesdays is, you know, like girls' night out, right? So you go out, you end up having a pitcher of sangria. Then because of that sugar, you end up getting more thirsty. So you order a second pitcher of sangria with your friends. A third pitcher of sangria, fourth, fifth. The total amount of sugar that you consume is so much that night that, number one, you're going to get hungover. And number two, all that sugar, you know, is not going to be healthy for your fitness journey, and your trainer's not going to be happy about it. However, if you start off with a shot, okay? Especially if you haven't eaten. You get a little loose, and then unconsciously, when you start ordering, let's say, your first pitcher of sangria or margarita, you're going to start feeling a little bit more lit, and unconsciously you're going to start kind of holding yourself back from ordering a third, fourth, or fifth pitcher of sangria or margarita. So in essence, again, like I said, you're going to save some money, you're going to get lit faster, and you are going to order less rounds of sugar, which is the huge thing, okay? For us guys, like I remember I used to be a huge beer guy. There's some beers out there, like let's say Blue Moon, that's higher in calories. There's better options. There's the shitty Coors Light that I hate. There's the Bud Light that I hate. There's a Michelob Ultra that I love. It's very low in sugar, but it's low in calories, but it's higher in alcohol content. So it's not like you're drinking, seltzer water and like apple juice. You know what I mean? Like you actually taste good quality beer. By the way, I'm not sponsored by Michelob Ultra, so I'm not really just trying to promote them. I genuinely like Michelob Ultra. So there's different options that us guys can kind of choose from, and the shots that you guys can kind of steer towards is probably tequila. Tequila has, it's like almost like the leanest of the lean of all the liquors and alcohols. It's very low in calories, compared to, let's say, the dark stuff like the whiskey and cognac. Is technically a little bit more in sugar. However, you always want to start off with shots because it is going to save you from the sugar consumption throughout the rest of the night, and it's also going to dictate how your night's going to go. And in terms of smoking, and I'm not talking about cigarettes, guys. I'm talking about smoking weed, smoking marijuana. Yes, I said it. Everybody does it. I get it now, especially now that it's legal. It's great. Okay, cool. I have a lot of people out there that I know, friends, clients, family that do it. It's fine. I'm not telling you as a trainer to stop doing it, but just to be conscious about it. So a lot of people, they do it because of stress after a long day of work. Some people do it because of trying to get to sleep. Some people, they just can't sleep. I used to be one of those people. I still am one of those people. Sorry, Mom. Sometimes I do it, So it does help me try to go to sleep, but let's be conscious about it. And let's talk about the big elephant in the room. It's the munchies that are fucking us up. It's not the smoke. It's the munchies, After you smoke that L, the pen, whatever the hell you're doing, or the edible, whatever the hell you're doing, it's the munchies. You end up, opening the fridge and you're like, holy shit, there's nothing here. Let me go to DoorDash. Let me go to Uber Eats. And the next thing you know, you get a 3-course meal, plus an appetizer, plus a drink, plus a dessert. And the next thing you know, you're still hungry. And then the next morning, you go to the bathroom and you're there for 4 hours because you just ate your life away the night before. You don't want to be doing that. Okay, number one. Number two, again, your trainer is going to be upset with you. So how do we kind of manipulate the situation? Okay, so in terms of trying to go to sleep, what I usually tell my clients is really just try to push smoking towards the end of the night as much as possible. What does that mean? I'm telling you, like literally right before you go to bed, okay? Right before you go to bed, start, before you even turn on the TV to go to sleep, I would tell you to smoke right before you go to bed, okay? And I'm not saying, I'm going to smoke and then I'm going to go to bed and then I'm going to put on, Euphoria or Friends and then start binge watching there. No, I'm talking about literally right before you feel like you're about to close your eyes, or right when you look at the clock and you're just like, holy shit, I only have 3 hours left of sleep and then I have to go to work. Fuck my life. I'm talking about then, okay? Because what that's going to do is going to help you to go to knock out fast, and you're not going to be susceptible to, going on Uber Eats and DoorDash, etc., and ordering a bunch of shit just so that, you can cater to your munchies. What I want you guys to do is really to set yourself up to manipulate your flaws but not fall for them. Let me say that again. Set yourself up to manipulate your flaws but not fall for them. So, I'm not here to tell you to stop doing what you like, but to be smart and change your negative habits and transitioning them to positive habits. Everybody drinks, everybody smokes, but there's smart ways to manipulate your drinking. There's smart ways to manipulate your smoking. Okay? For example, I mean, I fall for the trap sometimes myself. And, there's days where I come home, I end up, not being able to go to sleep. I end up doing the deed. And then next thing you know, I'm kind of just getting the itch of, going through my phone and Uber Eating and Door Dashing. And what really helped me was really pushing my limit to the point where once I'm bored of watching TV, once I'm bored of, doing some work on the laptop or on the iPad or getting ready for the work the next day, once I'm ready to just kind of like sit down and I'm not sleepy, but I'm just physically tired, that's when I do it, because I'm going to be physically tired to get out of the couch or get out of my bed to answer the door and pick up my Uber Eats order and my DoorDash order. Again, you're manipulating the situation. All right. So there was a few questions that I received today in regards to my Question Mondays. And the first one, for hypertrophy, is it safe to do drop sets every time I work out? That's a great question. Hypertrophy, for the people that do not know what it is, it's the act of building muscle. You want to just build muscle. It's not strength training. It's not powerlifting. It's the act of building muscle. It's like bodybuilding. Okay. Drop sets. It's a great tool. It's a great tool to have in your toolbox. Will I tell you to do specifically only drop sets for building muscle and hypertrophy? No. In my opinion, because you are doing drop sets, and by the way, for the people that don't know what drop sets are when you do an exercise, okay, you start off with a certain set of resistance. You do a set of that exercise, and then with no break, you lower the weight to, let's say, 10, 20%, 30%, etc. And then you continue doing that same exercise with no rest in between. And then if you really want to get fancy, after you do that one set or that second set, you drop the weight even more, another 10, 20, or 30%, and then you do another set with no rest in between. So in essence, it's 3 sets with no break in between as one whole macro set. That's a drop set. So if you actually kind of like analyze it and think about it, you're not giving your body or that muscle group a rest. In essence, you are working your endurance, your muscle endurance. Now, what is muscle endurance? Muscle endurance is how long a muscle can be under tension with resistance or force, in a given amount of time. Okay. So it's like how many, let's say you have 100 pounds. Muscle endurance is, maybe you could do 15 reps. If you increase your muscle endurance, now you could do 20 reps with that weight or 25 reps with that weight. So it's just the volume that you can withhold, or the resistance that you can withhold after a period of time. So with drop sets, I believe it increases a little bit more muscle endurance than hypertrophy or building muscle. Does it build muscle? Probably yes, it does. And it's a great tool to just kind of implement, to just kind of shock your body once in a while. But would I depend on drop sets for hypertrophy? No, I will not. Because again, you'll just get more muscle endurance out of it than hypertrophy. There's just better options. I'm not saying it's a bad option, but there's just better options for hypertrophy. Okay. Great question though. And the last question. do you want to see Jackass 3? Unfortunately, I already saw it. It was great. I'm a huge Jackass fan. You know, it's funny. I was actually having a conversation with some of my clients, and there was this one, and it made me feel fucking old. There was this one person. I'm not gonna name her. She's young. So I asked her, I was like, hey, you know, like, did you hear the Jackass movie? You know, did you hear that it came out? And she was like, what is that? And I was like, okay, so Jackass is basically where a bunch of grown-ass men who are a little immature just start doing crazy, stupid stunts, and you think it's hilarious because they get hurt. It's like, oh, wow, I never heard of it. And I'm like, girl, how old are you? Like, I grew up, you know, watching MTV2, seeing Jackass, The Wild Boys, and all that shit with Steve-O. You know, like, I felt fucking old after she asked me to explain what Jackass is to her. Mind you, this is Jackass Forever. This is not Jackass 1 that came out in fucking 1980, whatever. This isn't Jackass 2 that came out in 2005. Like, girl, like, have you been under a rock? It's insane. Anyways, so, yeah, I saw it. I thought it was hilarious. It was great. It just made me feel old as well. Like, seeing fucking Steve-O with gray hair, seeing, what's the other guy's name? Beto, what's the main guy's name? God damn. Shit. It's the guy with the laugh. Fuck. All right. Oh, there's Pontius. Pontius is hilarious. He's one of the Wild Boys. I love his laugh. He's like, anyways, it was a great movie. You guys should see it. Yeah. All right. So that's the end of the episode, guys. I hope you guys learned a little bit about being responsible and manipulating the situation in terms of, you know, drinking alcohol and smoking weed. Because again, at the end of the day, a lot of people do it. You know, us trainers do it too. It's fine. You know, you just have to make sure you're being smart about it and not setting yourself up for failure. Okay, just remember my tips and don't forget to answer my questions on Mondays, so I can give you a shout out and to answer them in depth here on my podcast. This is the Abarcast. Brian Abarca here. I love you all. Have a good night.